James Franklin declared to his seniors after the game that this sixth win was important because it made Penn State bowl eligible and also meant that this football team would be able to stay together for at least another month after the end of the regular season, of course. Penn State defeats Maryland. It wasn't easy, 31-30. So on the surface, considering how Maryland has performed against the better teams like Ohio State, like West Virginia, and against Michigan, the Penn State win would not be impressive, but it's a win that moves the Nittany Lions on to 3-1 in the Big Ten and 6-2 overall. The story of this game begins with Christian Hackenberg, as it typically does with Penn State. He was sacked early in the game. He had to endure a lot of pressure, as he typically does. It was noted early in the game when he was sacked again and again and again in the first quarter that he's been the most sacked quarterback in college football since he first took a snap as a freshman. 90-plus sacks, counting the sacks suffered against Maryland. Cody Kessler is the only one who's come close to USC quarterback at 77. Hackenberg endured, and when he completed passes, they counted. So this is not a guy that has been a 65% plus passer during his time at Penn State, mostly because of his issues with technique and also the issues with the offensive line, of course. 13 of 29, not impressive. 315 yards. He hit for big yardage downfield, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's key. Hackenberg becoming the all-time Penn State leader in completions and yardage passing, Zach Mills in both categories. Saquon Barkley, true freshman, very special, and he adds another dimension, another gear to the Penn State offense. He only ran for 65 yards on 20 carries, so credit the Maryland defensive front 7 in holding him to 3.3 yards per carry. In 20 carries, Barkley's longest run of the day was 10 yards. This is the same kid that ripped up Ohio State for 194 yards last week in Columbus. Getting back to the passing game, that's what won the game for Penn State, because the defense wasn't as dominant as it has been this year, and that coming off the heels of a 38-point night at Columbus against Ohio State, in which James Franklin said that this is the worst our defense has played in the last few years. And this is a defense that has been top 15 in the country in scoring defense and total defense against the likes of San Diego State, Buffalo, etc. Chris Godwin, getting back to the passing game, 4 catches for $135 and a touchdown. He made some remarkable catches. The wide receivers are exceptional here at Penn State. They have aided Christian Hackenberg, and it's been something missing from the Penn State offense with the offensive line issues, because Hackenberg, of course, a guy, the NFL prototype that likes to set up, survey the field, make his read, deliver the football on time. And that's when he is most effective, when he can show off the arm and get it to playmakers down the field like Godwin. Deshaun Hamilton, who caught 82 passes last year, caught 5 today for 96 yards and a touchdown. And also Geno Lewis, who's been a bit absent from the offense and missing 3 games due to injury. He's only got 7 receptions, but caught a big 27-yard touchdown pass today after 55 caught last year. So that's the deal with Penn State. They still have issues along the offensive line. They had issues blocking Maryland, protecting Hackenberg again, and the defense looked a little bit more vulnerable in giving up 241 yards rushing against the Maryland Terps, and the game wasn't sealed until Perry Hills was inaccurate downfield the last time Maryland had the football and was driving. Ball deflected, picked off by Malik Golden, one of 3 Penn State interceptions on the day. Regardless, Hills, not a finished product, but as a junior who has not played significantly since his freshman year at Maryland, when he was the starting quarterback in 2012 to start the season before he was injured and lost his job, has certainly been much more effective than either Caleb Rowe or Dax Garman. Perry Hills on this day, 19 for 28, 225, the 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. You can't cough it up. You can't give it up, as Maryland did on those 3 picks plus 2 fumbles, 5 turnovers for Maryland. But he hurts you in the running game. A few weeks ago, he hit up Ohio State for 170 on the ground. Hills against Penn State, 26 carries for 124 yards and a touchdown. We also see William Likely the very dangerous kick returner and defensive back who's going to be a first or second round pick in the NFL draft, getting himself acclimated to the offense. Interim coach Mike Locksley, hey, he's got no reason to hold anything back. Get Likely on the field, get him the football. He carried it 4 times for 30 yards, also had a pass reception. Maryland outgained Penn State by 103 yards and held the ball for 36 minutes to 24. But Penn State wins at 31-30. Again, Penn State at 6-2 moves on to a date with Illinois next week. Maryland coming off maybe its best effort of the season at 2-5, 0-3 in the Big Ten, takes on Iowa. The Hawkeyes, of course, 7-0. My take on Penn State, Maryland. Need to hear from you now on Mark Rogers TV.